Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video. This is Peggy, and this week I'm going to be making a maple bowl. I'm calling it the cling wrap bowl, and you'll see why in a little bit. And here I'm marking center, and I'm doing it on both sides, and then drilling a hole for the woodworm screw. And the worm screw is in the 4-jaw chuck, and here I am putting it on the worm screw and making sure it's tight, and then I'll move the tailstock forward. Tailstock going up, and then I'll work on the side of the blank and make it perfectly round, or as close as I can get anyway. So I start the lathe at around 600 RPMs and take a couple to a few passes, and then I speed it up. Taking a few very slow, light passes here. This video clip is at 2 times speed. And this video clip is at 4 times speed, so you'll see it speed up a little bit. So it looks like I'm going faster. I'm really not going a whole lot faster. Checking to see how round it is. And I sped up the lathe. Now I'm at about 1,000 RPMs. A different angle, a different shot here, flattening out the what will be the bottom. Starting to round over the corners a little bit, still with the bowl gouge. Making an area for the mortise. And if you're new here and haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Or if you're not new here and haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. It does really help. Thanks in advance, and I appreciate it. Making the mortise here and the foot, using a skew chisel to flatten out that mortise, and bowl gouge again to curve the corner to get the corner rounded over how I want it. And the chips are going right at the camera. Sorry. Need to sharpen quite a few times when doing work like this. So this is in real time. I'm using the one-way Wolverine grinding jig on a CBN wheel. And I usually, when I touch it up, I usually take about 2 or 3 passes. I think I take 3 here, which seems to be perfect. And showing you the nice sharpened edge. Back at it over on the lathe and turning up the RPMs to around 1200. As you can see, I made the foot and the mortise, and just smoothing over the edge, trying to get a clean, a couple clean passes before sanding. And starting the sanding process, and I sand from 80 to 400 grit. Using some denatured alcohol here after I sand it at 220. When the denatured alcohol dries, I'll use 220 again and then finish through the grits. And I'm going to apply a base coat, and I'm using the Hampshire Sheen Intrinsic Color Collection, and I'm using the sky blue. And after that dries thoroughly, I'm using the Joe Sonia iridescent paints. I'm using 4 different colors, which I'm putting here on a piece of melamine. And then I will apply the colors in a random pattern with a paintbrush. Now at this point you may be thinking I'm crazy, which could be true, but I do have a method to my madness here, something new I'm trying. So just keep watching and you'll see what I mean. I know it looks like I'm ruining the bowl, but I promise I'm not. So after applying all the desired colors, I get some cling wrap and I wrap it around the iridescent paint and I just rub it in. Look like I'm giving it a massage here, working the colors in. And then I'll take off the cling wrap and see what design has become of it, make any adjustments that I need. End up putting a new piece on, moving some other colors around, dotting it with the crumpled up cling wrap, which this is getting the effect I'm going for. A little bit of a paper towel here crumpled up to get some of the excess paint off. And you'll see some close-ups at the end. Here I'm just filling in some blank spots and blotting off with a paper towel. So it might be hard to tell at this point because this shot isn't very close, but at the end the photos will show you some close-ups of what it really looks like. Using some Hampshire Sheen pre-thinned cellulose sanding sealer, I apply about 3 coats of this, letting it dry in between, and then I flip it over on the lathe and start the hollowing process. I just took it off the woodworm screw, taking the woodworm screw out of the 4-jaw chuck and placing the bowl, the mortise, in the 4-jaw chuck and tightening it up, getting the tool rest where I need it, and I will then start hollowing out with the bowl gouge. And I'm at about 1,000 RPMs here. Just getting up to that speed slow to make sure everything is stable and straight. A few light passes, making sure that everything is safe before I really start hollowing very much. Continuing the hollowing process. Some slow-mo action for you, at least a brief clip of it. So just going kind of slow here to hollow out the bowl. I don't have the tailstock pulled up, so I'm just being very, very careful. And again, as I said in previous videos, this is where I wish I had a bowl saver, so I can get 2 or 3 bowls out of this one blank, but that will be something for the new year, I think. If anyone has used one, let me know. I heard the one-way bowl saver is good. Leave a comment and let me know if you have one and what you like, and if it's worth the investment. So I've switched to the Easy Wood Tools #1 hollower here to more safely get around the corner. Back to the bowl gouge here to finalize the rim, checking the depth, the thickness, and continuing on with the bowl gouge. Starting the sanding process with power sanding, and the same grits were used from 80 to 400, except it was with a power sander. Took my time and just really made sure that each grit was done thoroughly and wiped off. Here I'm using some Scotch-Brite before I apply the Axe abrasive paste. And remember, you can get a discount code if you try the Axe products. There is a link in the video description to the Axe website. Using code PF10, you'll get 10% off. So applying the Axe abrasive paste here thoroughly, and then I will turn on the lathe and buff it off. So next I'm going to apply the Axe polishing paste. Now I didn't use the Axe on the outside of the bowl because of the kind of paint. Not that you can't use it over that, you can, but I did or I'm going to do, as you'll see in a minute, a spray finish on the outside. And this is a polyurethane spray. And I end up doing about 4 or 5 coats of this, letting it dry in between. Best to apply very thin coats. And I can get kind of impatient, so I've learned the hard way to really apply thin coats and really wait till it's dry. So here are the stills, the photos at the end. I'll get a little more close up in a second here. This maple wood is just so beautiful. So let me know what you think in the comments. Give a thumbs up if you liked it. Leave a comment and tell me what you liked about it. If you've ever tried this technique with the cling wrap, let me know. Or if you're going to try it with the cling wrap, let me know that too. I'd appreciate it. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and I will see you next week. Peace out.